look at the way that certain products basically they sell a lifestyle. Apple, like iPhones and all that garbage, which by the way is a brutal, grim company. Like aside from the fact that basically they're now saying, "Well, why not use your thumbprint as a thing?" Get lost. If
Yeah.
Steve Jobs walked up to me and asked me for my thumbprint, I'd punch him in the face. Like, but people are going to quite happily give that without a second thought.
Yeah.
And you know, regardless of that, this is a lifestyle thing. You know, it's wonderful. You can see the geniuses at the Apple Store and stuff like that. And at the same time, that piece of technology in your hand that costs about £300 costs about 40 pence to make, and the people that make it is slave labor. Essentially, it is slave labor, and in Foxconn, which is where a lot of it is made, the workers are made to sign a contract that says if they kill themselves due to the hard working, their family is fined, and if their family can't pay a fine, their family goes to prison.
This is a way to combat all the suicides that was ramping into Apple Village for a while there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, these are monstrous organizations, but you don't see that. You see the sheen and the glamour of it and stuff like that. And again, this comes down to things that I'm sure, again, your viewers, listeners, are very aware of: cognitive dissonance and consensus trance.
Well, exactly, and a lot of the way this have happened and formulated as well is that the spiritual void that many people feel, the emptiness, of course, is trying to be filled, and as you say, with certain external things that are available to you, and that's why you see in a lot of the ad campaigns as well that they have. I mean, Apple are playing like on this. We posted an article the other day, and there's a book written about this now called Appletopia, which basically shows that they're playing on the religious themes. I mean, for Christ's sake, the building in New York, the shop, the store, is, according to one of these sources here, the most photographed building in all of New York. So people actually come to it and take their photo in front of it like it's a cathedral. And I mean, there's just so much more to how they played on this, but basically what that shows is that people have a need, if you will, for some kind of higher source for something, and it seems like these products have been able to fill this kind of spiritual void, if you will.
Well, people fall in love with the phones. I know that's very, very glib. I'm being absolutely 100% serious. I'm just trying to find the actual study. Essentially, it was at Harvard or something like that, and when they showed people images of their iPhones or the ringtone, the whatever the Apple ringtone is or something like that, people reacted by boosting out dopamine, serotonin, and the parts of the synapses of the brains that were reacting was the parts that happen when people are in love.
Okay, let me ask. Sorry, hold that thought, but just let me interject this quickly. Okay, is that then because the iPhone represents the connectivity that you get with it through to your other, friends and family? Could it be something like that that's at the root of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the problems with certain social media and smartphones and such like that. I mean, for a start, they're supposed to be a stress-saving device, and they actually increase stress. I mean, everybody probably has the first sign that you're basically falling in love with your phone, and this is going to sound crazy, is getting a phantom buzz when you think, oh, did my phone just go off? And you check it and pull it out of your pocket and stuff like that. It's been medically proven that this is it's a stress thing, and it's almost like jonesing for heroin, if you know what I mean. Like you're going, oh, come on. And as we said, social media and interaction gives you that vital information. So any form of social interaction like that, you could take it on board as being being sort of vital information.
So sorry again to interrupt, but it's interesting as we're talking about this, because some of the pieces of the puzzle are falling in place. This is also then in a way, Neil, indicative of the phone or whatever you have to maintain this contact is basically your hardwire to the hive, if you will. The collective,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I've just found this quote actually. In each instance, the results showed activation in both the audio and visual cortices of the subject's brains. In other words, when they were exposed to the video, our subject's brains didn't just see the vibrating iPhone, they heard it too. And when they were exposed to the audio, they also saw it. This is a powerful cross-sensory phenomenon known as synesthesia.
Yeah.
The most striking of all was the flurry of activation in the insular cortex of the brain, which is associated with feelings of love and compassion. The subject's brains responded to the sound of their phones as they would respond to the presence or proximity of a girlfriend, boyfriend, or close family member.
Yeah.
short, the subjects didn't demonstrate the classic brain-based signs of addiction. Instead, they loved their iPhones. And just to go back to social media is addictive in the same way that gambling is addictive, in the way that basically social information is rewarding. That's the way you gamble on Facebook. You put down a piece of information. You post, like, I forget what they call. I don't know what they're called. You put your thing on your headlines or something like that. That's like putting down chips. Do you know what I mean? Big stakes. And you're either going to win because people are going to respond to you, or you're going to lose, and then you're going to have to gamble again. And every time you gamble again and lose, you feel a bit worse. And I'll take it a step further. Everybody, and I've had people, not me, everybody modifies what they put on Facebook. Just by the definition of, you can't get 24 hours of information onto your, like, post or whatever it's called. You can't, and you don't put stuff like, oh, I had a really embarrassing incident at the toilet today, and oh, I did this, and you know, whatever you put on it, you put it in a way that is socially acceptable and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't go, you know what, I really lost it this morning, and I made a horrible comment to a little kid, and I don't know why I did it, I just did, and never mind. You'd never put something like that on there. Like, so you're modifying this thing. So the version of you on Facebook, it's a sleeker, better, marketed version of you, right? Okay? And sooner or later, your subconscious is going to go, hang on, this version of me is more popular than me. This version of me's got 700 friends. I only interact with 5 people on a regular basis. That's ridiculous. And so you'll start to change yourself to be more like the person on Facebook. I'll take it a step further. Everybody lies on Facebook. Everybody puts the most glamorous photo up there, tries to express the most fun that they're having on in their life. And so if you're there as a casual observer, you sat there going, my God, everyone's life's more exciting than mine. What can I do? Gamble with social information, because then I can get information about how to be as exciting as these people, and then the cycle continues and continues and continues. Mm-hmm. I mean, social media is oxymoronical, because basically you're being less social. The more time you spend on social media, by definition, the less time you're spending interacting with a person. And the problem with talking to a person, like, without with a screen in between you, or over the internet, or even like we're talking now, Henrik, okay, because I can't see your eyes and your reaction and stuff like that. It's the equivalent of wearing a mask, or It's the equivalent of wearing dark sunglasses. And again, if people don't think that's stupid, go and look how people react in a riot situation just because they've got a mask on. Go and read the Zimbardo experiments, where people put masks on and felt that they could be far ruder to people in public. Yeah. Or the very one is the Stanford prison experiment, whereby the guards were given reflective sunglasses, which hid, it provided the anonymity required for them to disassociate and take on the role of authoritarian.
And you see the worst enemy reflecting back to you in that mirror, your own self, right? So
Absolutely, yeah. But that's the point. I mean, it's a vicious cycle whereby it's a doomed downward spiral of essentially misery, but it's disguised. Again, you can liken a lot of these things to heroin, because the first time that you do that, you're never going to get that again, but you're going to spend your entire life doing it until you run ragged and all your teeth have fallen out.